So today we will be using log laws to do logs. So with addition, you multiply the two numbers of the logs together. They still have to have the same base in order to do so, just like that. And then you actually have to multiply them together after. Like that. And then you plug it back into your equation here. And then it's just like a normal log here, where 2 to the third power equals this, which is x squared plus 14x plus 48. And then you do 2 to the third power, which is 8. 8 equals x squared plus 14x. And then you subtract the 8 back over here, and you end up with 0 equals x squared plus 14x plus 40. Now you have to factor your remaining answer to get your two answers, and then the factoring is x plus 4, x plus 10, which I will not show because you should already know how to factor. And then that means x equals -4 and x equals -10 because it's the opposite. Now you plug -10 and -4 back into your top equation, and you have to end up with a positive number or else it does not work. So -4 plus 6 is 2, and -4 plus 8 is 4, which works, but -10 plus 6 and -10 plus 8 does not work. So -4 is your answer, -10 does not work.
Alright, now for question 2. First step would be to move this 2 over, which you'd move to be squaring this first term. So you'd rewrite it as log base 2 x plus 6 squared. Then you'd multiply this out. Next, you'd use the addition rule like we used in problem number 1 to multiply these two terms together, but you have to make sure to keep the base. This would then simplify, or you'd multiply the 3 out. When you have the same log base, so the log base 2, log base 2 on both sides of the both sides of the equation, you can cross them out and drop them and just create an equal equation. This only works if you have the same pairs on both sides of the equal sign. Next, we will combine like terms. And factor. You then get x equals negative 16 thirds and x equals negative 6. After you plug that back into the original equation to see if any of these will equal 0 or a negative number. So let's see, negative 16 thirds. Negative 16 thirds is 5 1/3. So if you plug negative 5 1/3 plus 6 is a positive number, so this one works into there. It will also work in this one. So negative 16 thirds works. Negative 6, if you plug into this one, makes 0, so that one already crosses off. So your final answer is x equals negative 16 thirds.
Part of the video, we're going over the subtraction rule of logs and also the product rule of logs. But the first step we're going to start off with is we have to undisguise this number here, which is 3 to some power equals 27, and 3 to the third power equals 27, and that's the hidden number that you would put here. And then we use the product rule. We can do it in the same step here, where you take this 2 and raise 4x to the second power, because 4x to the second power, 2 is the second, and then that is log root or base 2, and then 4 to the second power, which is 16, and then x to the second power, which is x squared, minus log base 2, 6 minus x equals 3. Now we're going to use the subtraction of the logs rule, where you divide the two numbers here but keep the base, and so that ends up with log 2 16x squared log 6 minus x, all on one log base 2, and then equals 3. Now the next step of this is to set it up in a different form, where you have 2 to the third equals this, which is like, it will look like this. And then now we solve this, of course, which is 8 over 1 equals 16x squared 6 minus x. Now we have a simple butterfly multiplication problem where we end up with 16x squared equals 48 minus 8x. And then since 16x squared is over here, we will move everything from this side over here so we don't have a negative 16x squared, and then it'll look like this: 16x squared plus 8x minus 48 equals 0. And to make it a little easier, we are going to divide it by 4 first, or pull out a 4, I mean, and that ends up with 4x squared plus 2x minus what is it? 12, which I think you can still pull something out. Well, messed up, so we're gonna pull out another 2, which is pulling out a whole 8. And it ends up like that. And now you're gonna factor this next part again, which turns into 2x minus 3 and x plus 2, which I'm not going to show because you should know how to factor. And then you are going to have it set equal to 0, so you're going to add 3, divide by 2, which is x equals 3 over 2, and then x minus 2. And then now you're going to plug them back in the original equation and see which one works. And that would be that would be 3 over 2. So x minus 2 does not work, or negative 2 does not work.
Alright, in this portion of the video, we'll be doing a natural log with no calculator. So the original equation is natural log 4x plus 3 equals 7. Now you'll expand it in the log form. Now you'll multiply it out. And because this is a no calculator problem, you cannot use your calculator to solve e to the 7th. So all you do is just subtract 3 and divide by 4, and that equals x, and that would be your final solution. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, in this portion of the video, we will do a natural log problem, but with a calculator. So this is the original equation right here. And so all you do is tap the natural log button right there of 37, enter, and that's your solution for this part right there. Then all you do is just get everything to the one side and leave the x by itself. So you subtract 8 and divide by negative 3, and your final answer would be x equals 1.463. Make sure to go to the thousandths. In this last part of the video, I will just show the answers to these problems, the last 9 problems. Pause the video when you see the equations and try them on your own.